Okay, so very warm welcome. Good morning. I'm going to ask you both a little bit more about yourselves in a minute, but I just thought I'd give you a brief sort of my background and outline about why I started the business and what it's done for me, because I don't think that we've sort of met before. So very long story short, I left school when I was 16, always been self-employed because I was passionate about horses. So I started off very early on in my career as a riding instructor, and I ran several equestrian businesses, and then I became a journalist. I did all sorts of things, sales, marketing, recruitment, lots of different things, always self-employed. So always working really hard. Have either of you been self-employed before?
No.
With anything? No. Okay, that's fine. So let me just let a couple more people in, and then Simran's here now as well. Just give them a second to join, and then we'll start again. It is only just 10 o'clock. So morning, Vanessa, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you.
Lovely. And Simran at the moment isn't connected. There we are. Morning, Simran.
Morning.
Morning. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Lovely. Sarah's here as well. So Simran, who's invited you? Who introduced you to the business?
Melanie.
Sorry?
Melanie.
Mel Harris.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you very much. And Sarah, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Saw you on Monday. Sarah, just remind me who invited you to the business again?
Karen Powell.
Karen, okay. Fantastic. Lovely. So I was just starting to just do my intro because I know I haven't met you all properly before. I know, Sarah, you're on the meeting, but I didn't explain much. So I was just saying that I was self-employed basically when I left school. I was 16, did lots of jobs, mostly with horses, but I was a journalist and did sales and marketing and all sorts of stuff. And then in my 30s, I was told I couldn't have children. And then when I was 39, I had my daughter, Roxy, which was lovely. And I had another miracle when I was 43, Eric. So I've got 2 children, even though I was told I couldn't have them. But what happened with me was Roxy was about 18 months old. I was still trying to do all of the things, you know, working flat out, because when you're self-employed, if you don't work, you don't get paid. So obviously having time off to have her did make us struggle a bit financially. And, you know, she was 18 months old. I was still trying to do everything that I had been doing. And I was really tired, to be honest. I still had 10 horses on the yard that I was mucking out, etc., and doing all that and still teaching people. And just got to the point where I thought, it's all right, they'll go now. Excuse me, they've gone. Just got to the point where I thought there's got to be an easier way than this. So if any of you ever thought that in life and you've just been struggling and you thought, you know what, there's got to be an easier way to make money or to do something than this. And that's where I was. And just out of the blue, I'm a great believer in the law of attraction. And out of the blue, I got an email from someone I didn't even know who suggested that I take a look at this business. So that was back in 2009. So 13 years ago. It was very, very different then, very different. In those days, we didn't have a website. We had a paper form and a little booklet, and the most you could earn for signing up a customer was £20. So it was a different business model, really. But the main thing that we saw was this residual income. So when I first saw the business and I saw this fact that when you sign up a customer, you're then going to get paid over and over and over again on that customer's bills, I just thought, how clever is that? What an amazing way of building up some passive income. And then obviously I saw the bit about building a team as well. So I decided to give it a go. Didn't know what I was doing, really didn't know what I was doing. So guys, you know, I know the new people on here, you're thinking, what have I done? Oh my God, can I do this? And I remember, oh, sorry. I'll shut that out in a minute, apart from it's raining. And I remember, you know, if you're thinking, gosh, can I do this? Then let me just shut the door because the dogs are driving me nuts. There we are. They're shut out in the rain, which they're going to complain about in a minute. But that will just shut up for a minute. Yeah, so if you're thinking, can I do this? Then absolutely you can. And I remember when I started, you know, really not knowing what I was doing. My very first customer, I went to see my mum. And I said, Mum, I don't know what I'm doing, but if I can help you save some money, would you do me a favor and be my first customer? You know, that was my pitch. And she said, as long as it doesn't cost me anything, as long as you can save me some money, yes, I will. And that's how I sort of started. So that was back in 2009. Now, at the time, I was still really busy. You know, I was still doing all of those other things. And because, as I said, the upfront money wasn't great, it wasn't a case of being able to just ditch everything else and just jump into this. So I had to keep doing everything else for quite a long time. But my goal was, and this is top tip number one, you know, as I'm telling you stories, I'm telling you this for a reason. So I hope you've got notepad and pen, because what I realized was, and what I was told on an early training was, as long as you show at least 3 people a week what you're doing consistently over time, you'll end up with a big business. All right. And I just decided for the first time in my life to do as I was told, to believe in someone else and to just follow a system and do that. And for me, as a sort of an entrepreneur, it was quite hard, really, because we're always thinking outside the box, but you don't have to with this business. You know, everything is there for you. All you need to do is find people to show. All right. That's all you need to focus on. So 3 people a week, I thought, well, I can just about do that. Now, again, in those days, we didn't have this system. We didn't have remote systems. We didn't have, you know, Zoom or anything like that. So me showing 3 people a week meant me actually getting childcare, getting in the car, driving to see someone, you know, sitting down with them for an hour and coming home. But I still decided to make sure I could show 3 a week. So that's just, like I say, just top tip number one. It depends how much time you've got. It depends what you want to do with the business early on. But if you can just find time to show 3 a week consistently, you will grow yourself a massive business. All right. And now, of course, those 3 people can be on Zoom or on video call or just on the phone with the remote system. So actually, that's 3 hours a week. If you haven't got 3 hours a week, you're probably not going to make a huge amount of money, whatever you do. All right. But if you've got 3 hours a week, at least with this, you are going to, you know, make some inroads and really make some money. So that's top tip number one. So all I did was that I just started showing 3 people a week consistently, and it started to build. You know, by the end of the first year, I had 50 personal customers. I was a position called team leader. And as the passive income started to build up, I was gradually able to stop doing bits of all the other stuff, you know. So gradually, over a period of, it was probably between 3 and 7 years, I gradually was able to park everything else. And now I work a quarter of the hours for 4 times the money that I was doing then. And that's an important thing to think about as well. So it's not a get rich quick scheme, although I'm going to give you some examples of people that have made a lot of money very quickly, because with the customer bonus, you can make a lot of money now, but the passive income is something that will build up over time, okay, as long as you stay consistent. And now, you know, to have enough, I get more money now in passive income than most people get for a full-time wage. All right, so if you think what most people are working 40 hours a week for, well, now, because I've just built it up consistently over time, that's coming into our household, whether I work or not, which is a massive thing, you know, for people, especially with all this craziness we're in. So 3 to 5 a week, that's top tip number one. Secondly, really, I think, is to try and work out why you've joined and what is it you want from the business. All right, so obviously there's a few of us on here. There's a few new partners. There's a few existing partners. I'm not being rude, but I'm not going to talk to you very much. I'm going to talk to the new guys when we do this bit, if that's all right. So Vanessa, Sean, Ray, I don't know who Zoom user is. Sorry, I'll ask in a minute. But so Sally, if you don't mind just sharing with us, just sort of briefly, you know, why have you joined? And, you know, immediately, what is your sort of early goals with the business, would you say?
Why I've joined is I'm looking for a new career. I've decided to get out of healthcare altogether, and it's sort of like been a long process, but it's sort of like a little bit of a grieving process as well, because it's all I've ever done for many, many years. And I just think I've got so many transferable skills. I want to go into something else. And yes, I'm very scared. I don't even know 6 people.
Ah, yes, you do. You do.
So finding my first customers is sort of like quite daunting. But, you know, I just want to try something else, and I just want to put my focus somewhere else and see where it leads me, really.
Brilliant. No, that's fine. And we're going to do a little exercise in a minute, and I promise you we'll get more than 6 names down. I promise, unless you've been living in a cave the whole of your life, which you may have been. I don't know, right? I bet you haven't. No, that's fine. And it's perfectly okay to be scared. You know, that's the thing, you know, to get good things out of life, you have to be prepared to stretch yourself, don't you, and step outside your comfort zone. And when I joined the business, all I knew was horses. Do you know what I mean? Really, I hadn't done anything like this myself either. So I totally do understand where you are right now. And, you know, even, you know, you do have to do uncomfortable things if you want to be comfortable. You know, you have to choose your hard. If you choose hard now, you're going to have easy in the future. And nobody, you know, if it was really, really simple, everyone would do it. It is simple, but sometimes it's not easy. Okay. And that's where we are there to help you. All right. Because we all know what happens and how you feel. Sarah, do you mind sharing, you know, why did you join and what's your early goals with the business?
I joined actually in 2018.
Okay.
And I registered and I never even signed myself up as a customer. So I paid and I didn't do anything with it because I have some experience in previous businesses like this.
Yeah.
And my sponsor who introduced me, she lived quite a long way away, and then we went into lockdown.
Yeah.
So now that we're out of it, I said, well, why ever not, you know, let's go. And obviously with Zoom and things like that, it's so much easier. So my background, I'm an EA, I work in banking and in the city, Canary Wharf as well, just to, you know, tick all the cliches. And I want to be able to control my time. So at the moment I work on contracts. So rather than, my contract is coming to an end at the end of November.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to set up my UW business so that when that contract comes to an end, I can just do UW full time.
We're open if they're in. I just shut them out because they're being noisy. No, all right. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So I started it. So, you know, I'm very serious about the UW business replacing that contract by the end of November. So it's going to be hard, busy, but you know, I'm used to hard work. Okay.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. Well done. Juliana, do you mind sharing why have you joined?
I think my husband is more excited about it because I'm a bit scared. Yeah, I've never done anything like this. I've always been a teacher, but now I'm a TA, and I'm excited to learn more about it and to see what I can do if I can become like a good partner.
Of course you can. Of course you can. And we have loads and loads of teachers in our business as well. So there is lots again of, as Sally talked about, transferable skills, you know, and I think the thing is with this business, all you actually have to do is talk to people. And, you know, if you don't want to talk to people very much, you can even set up a lot by messenger messaging, you know, and all that sort of thing as well. And it's just learning how to show a simple presentation, which is, it is simple, you know, and then sharing a quote. So you definitely can do it 100%. Simran, do you mind sharing why you joined?
Joined to like earn a bit of extra income.
Lovely. What are you doing at the moment?
I'm a student.
Ah, lovely. Okay. So lots and lots of students need an extra bit of income, don't they, to help you through your studies? So think of all the people that you're talking to and that you're meeting. Have you started at university? What year are you in?
This year.
You're starting in September, are you?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So when you go in September and you're meeting everybody, you can share with them all that you've got a really good way of earning some extra income alongside the studies, and that's how you're going to build a big team.
Yeah.
Right. So really good. Well done. Well done for being here. Zoom user. Hello. Good morning. I don't know who you are. Are you able to unmute yourself and just introduce yourself?
Oh, hello, Celia. It's me. It's Freddie.
Oh, Freddie. Hello. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm actually. I'm really sorry, everyone, but I am. Too much information, but I'm just about to hit the shower. I was just about to Listen. So
Oh, come on, Freddie, put your camera on.
Um,
No, I'm joking. That would be a bit like, Freddie, it's fine. Do you know how to change your name on your Zoom?
No.
So if you click on your screen, there's 3 little dots on the top right-hand corner. If you click on that, there's a thing that says rename and you can put your name on there. Don't worry if you don't want to, because it's fine that I know that you're there. So Freddie's a fairly new partner, and I was supporting him before I went on holiday, and we haven't caught up since. So lovely to have you here. You carry on with your shower and you listen in, all right? But you don't
I'll listen in, and then we'll catch up afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a shout after. Lovely. No,
All
that's
right
fine,
then.
Freddie.
But
Thank you.
I can say the reason why I wanted to join you, with this one is the financial benefits, but there is that innate feeling of wanting to help people save money, and introduce people as well as make as much money as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done. No, that is right. And it is, I mean, at the moment, so a little bit of, background over the last few years since I've been a partner, things have, we've had sort of peaks and troughs in the speed that the business has grown. But back between 2008 and 2012, just some background for you all to know this. So between 2008 and 2012, Utility Warehouse doubled in size. Okay, the reason it doubled in size in those 4 years was because of the recession. So that was the last time when people were really, really feeling the pinch. I joined in 2009. I like to say that the business doubled because I joined, but I don't think it was that. I think it's because we're in a recession. But I remember the speed of things then. I didn't know any different, did I? Because I just come into the business. But, I did get going pretty quickly in that time because things were very, very buoyant. And then I'm not saying that it didn't really plateau, but I think, because of all the energy companies that came on the market. So in the end, there were 75 energy companies all doing super cheap deals and all that sort of stuff. So between sort of 2014 and 2019, I would say that we've always been competitive, but we weren't the cheapest. You had to really show the benefits to everyone of the cashback card and all that sort of stuff to get your customers. We were still growing. We've always grown. And in that time, I actually got to senior group leader, which is a massive promotion. So obviously the team was still building really well. But now this year, to put this into perspective, normally in last August, I think as a team, because we've got loads of mums in the business, lots of people on holiday, lots of people doing their thing. I think we gathered about 5 partners and about 20 customers, as a team last August. This August already, and we've still got a week to go, we've brought in 50 partners and nearly 100 customers. So that's just a sign of the times, really. That's showing you the speed of things at the moment. So there really hasn't ever been a better time. My job now today is to instill belief in you so that you can find the confidence to go out there and start talking to people. So the company, there's 3 things you need belief in if you're going to be successful in Utility Warehouse. Number 1 is the company. So the company, Telecom Plus is the company behind Utility Warehouse. Go and Google Telecom Plus financial results, over the last year. I'm a shareholder and we get the financial results sent through and absolutely doing well. So Telecom Plus, Utility Warehouse have never been in better shape. We now have a full suite of products. We've got the best price energy in the UK. We've got the fastest, best priced broadband in the UK. We've got very, very competitively priced mobiles with the best service provider. And we've now got a bunch of insurance products that are also award-winning already. So company-wise, we've got a good suite of products. Our CEO, Andrew Lindsay, has never been more excited about the business. He's an absolutely amazing guy. And the chief executive, Charles Wiggader, who started the business in 1997, his vision was to help as many people as possible be financially independent, all right, as partners. That was his vision when he started the business, and that's still his vision today. So you're in the right place with the right company that genuinely want to help the customers and genuinely want to help us. I've just come back from 2-week free holiday, a week in Mexico, a week in Orlando that I qualified for as part of this business. But it wasn't just me out there. There was hundreds of partners out there enjoying this free holiday that we've qualified for, and that does really, really cement your belief in the company and what they're doing. So there's the company, there's the products and services, which is a fantastic, that's the second thing you need to have faith in, and I promise you can. Now, the third thing you need to have belief in is yourself and that you can do this. And I know that that's the tricky one. You know, that's the bit that needs some work. But there are solutions for every single issue, challenge, problem you come up with. So the first thing I want to touch on really is what we call personal development. All right, so personal development is basically being prepared to invest in yourself, to learn to be the person you need to be in order to build a big business for the Utility Warehouse. Personal development is about you finding out what you really want and what you're prepared to do to achieve it, and learning to believe that you can. Because guess what? If you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. You have to borrow other people's belief. So please borrow my belief. I remember when I started feeling exactly like you. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know if I could do it. But I saw some other people that had made it work. And so you can see me, I've made it work for myself and my family. So if I can, you can. And in the very early days, you have to borrow someone else's belief. You have to just say to yourself, if Celia can do it, I can do it. All right, you know, I'm no different to you. And now I might sound confident because I've done hundreds and zillions and millions of Zoom calls and trainings and all that sort of stuff, but I wasn't like that in the beginning. You know, and it just comes, just take one step at a time. A few top tips: touch your business every day. What I mean by that is do something every single day, whether that's going onto the portal and doing a training, doing some personal development, speaking to somebody. So touch your business every single day and learn to be consistent. So it's not about being a fast high flyer, it's about being consistent, doing something every single day. And treating this like a business, not a hobby. Vanessa shared that on the team meeting. It reminded me, yeah, you know, you have to treat this like a business. So if you were starting any business from scratch today, there'd be a few things you'd be thinking about doing, wouldn't there? You'd be thinking about, how can I market what I'm doing? How can I learn, you know, to do what I'm doing? So really do think about that. And, you know, take all the help that is offered as well. That's the other thing I would say, ask for help. We don't know what we don't know. So if you're struggling and you don't reach out to your upline, to your sponsor and tell them, they're not going to know. What people do, which always upsets me, is they just go quiet. You know, they're struggling, so they just go quiet. They take themselves out of the groups, or they don't keep in contact. But, you know, if you want your life to change, if you want things to change, you have to change some things. All right. But please do reach out and ask for help, because we're all here 100% to help you. So today is literally just about saying hello, getting to know you, and trying to get you on a sort of track over the next week or so to start putting this thing into motion. All right. So the first thing we're going to do now is just spend a little bit of time on what we call building your list. All right. Now, I know Sally, for example, has just said she really doesn't feel she knows many people. And I get that, you know, lots of people get to that stage, but I'm going to give you some prompters now. First thing to say is, I don't want you to prejudge anybody. And even Vanessa and Sean and, you know, Ray, I think you're driving, Freddie or whatever on the call, do the list again now. So pretend you haven't got a list, pretend you're starting today, because you'll find new names do jump into your head every time you do this exercise. And Sally, I don't want you to prejudge. I don't want you to think they won't be interested, or I haven't spoken to them for ages, or whatever. The exercise is to get the names down. Okay, that's all right. Sure, no problem. So the exercise is to get names down on a list. All right. It's not whether you're going to contact them. It's not whether you think they'll join. So we're going to do an exercise called frogs. So just write frogs down on your piece of paper. F-R-O-G-S, frogs. And we're going to start with F. So F stands for friends and family. Okay. So I want you to write down every family member that you have over the age of 18. So brothers, sisters, mum and dad if they're still alive, grandparents if they're still alive, cousins, aunties, uncles, nephews, nieces. Write some names down. Got a good story about this, actually. I've got quite a big family, and I've got quite a lot of nieces and nephews. And there was one nephew on my list who I never thought would be interested in the business. And, you know, I had totally prejudged him. So I didn't offer it to him. And I went to a local meeting and one of our opportunity presentation meetings a few years ago now, before COVID and all that nonsense. And he was there because someone else had invited him along and he was interested in joining the business. And that was a real lesson to me. So don't prejudge. That was Peter. My son's just asked who? Peter. So there we are. So all those cousins, nephews, nieces, uncles, aunts, all right. And even if they're not in this country, still write their names down because they might know someone that is, all right. So don't always think, oh, they're not here, so that won't be appropriate. This business is not about who you know, it's about who they know. So Sally, if we get you to your 6, it's not about those 6, it's about who those 6 people know, all right. And that's where we get really good at the referrals and passing the message on, and that's how we grow our business. So that's family, right? Friends. So if you were going to have a party tonight and I was paying for all the booze, I'm going to get a band in, I'm going to give you a load of booze, I'm going to give you all your food that you want. You're having a party tonight. Who would you invite? All right. So who are your friends? Who would you invite over to a party? Or if you were going to get married, or if you have been married, who was on your wedding list? Think about your friends. Just write down friends. Who would you go for a drink with, go for a meal with this evening? Who would help you out if things were really, you know, if you broke down on the way to the airport, or, you know, something really awful happened, who would you call on? All right, so just write down a few names there, a few friends. So keep going with that one. Okay, and next one then, R in frogs is recreation. So what do you do outside of work, if anything? I think we've all got less hobbies since COVID and all that, but if you've got any hobbies outside of work, just write down what it is, and then who do you know through that hobby? Or if you've got children, what do they do? You know, do they have any hobbies? Do you know anybody through what they do? So for example, my son plays football. He's just started on trial for the Junior Premier League. So that's a whole bunch of new parents now that I can be putting on my list that I'll be starting to build relationships with and have a chat with. And when it's relevant, I can talk to them about the business. Eric. So recreation. So thinking about that. Okay, so that's the R. So the O in frogs. Anyone, any ideas, new people, what the O might be? Sally, can you think what the O might stand for? No, don't worry, Sarah. Oh, you might know actually, because you've been in the business for a while. So don't say if you do know, you might. Juliana, can you think what the O might be? No. Okay. O is occupation. So who do you know from work? Who do you currently work with, or who have you worked with in the past? So Sally, you've had a whole career in healthcare. So
I have left under a cloud and nobody's allowed to speak to me.
Well, there will be people. Oh, bless you. There will be people that will find you, and you might have a cloud with some of them, but you won't have had a cloud with all of them. And the thing is, if you feel like you do about that career and wanting to step away, do you think you're the only one in that whole industry that feels like that? No. No. So you can go and find them. They can't stop you speaking to anybody. You're not with them anymore. Okay, so occupation, and then not just who you're working with now, but who have you worked with in the past? Previous jobs. And then occupation can go a lot further than that, can't it? Because you can actually write down a list of occupations. So here's a top tip for you. If you go onto the UW Stories, so that is uwstories.co.uk, you'll see that we've got about 20 little videos, short videos which basically introduces the business opportunity to different categories of people. So we've got one for teachers, Juliana, there's a teachers one, there's a carers one, Sally, there's one specifically for healthcare and carers, there's a nurses one, there's finances, there's mortgage advisors, tradespeople, stay-at-home mums. You know, there's a little video for lots and lots of different types of people. If you write a list of the videos down and then just see if you can think of one person you know in each of those categories. All right, this is a great way of also building your list, because you could simply send them a message saying, hi, I've just started working for your new company. We've got some great videos, and one of them is about being how the business works for teachers. Would it be okay if I sent it across to you just to get some feedback from you? All right, so you know that's just a little way of introducing the business to people. And there are so many hooks and ways, you know, of getting in front of people with this. So occupation is who you've worked with. Oh, Simran's gone, actually. I was going to say to Simran, she's probably dropped off, she's not come back yet. That, you know, if you're going to university, then obviously you're adding names to your list, aren't you, massively from day one. So you've got to start to add, you know, adding names to your list every day. Okay, so that's FRO, occupation. G in frogs stands for geography. So who do you know who lives where you live? Who are your neighbours? Do you speak to any of your neighbours? Even if you don't, you know, we've got neighbour letters you can print off and put through doors. You can show people what you're doing and how you can help them. So there's your neighbours. It could be, who do you always speak to in the corner shop that you buy your paper from, or, you know, a shop that you go in regularly, who works there? Just get some names down on your list. And then the other thing of geography is, if you've moved recently, who do you know from where you used to live previously? So think back to where you've lived over the last however many years, and write down the places, and then just say, who do I know from there? And then the S on the end of frogs can be a few different things. So let's start with social media. Are you on any type of social media? If so, all of your connections need to go on your list. So if you're on Facebook, how many Facebook friends have you got? Write them all down. If you're on Instagram, how many Instagram followers have you got? If you're on LinkedIn, who's following you on LinkedIn? Also, how many contacts have you got on your phone? So when you're writing your list, pick up your phone. Sally, I know your actual mobile phone, do you know how many numbers you've got in there?
No.
No, all right, so have a look, go through them all and just list them down. All right, name and number, even if you're not sure who they are, they go on your list. All right, because the whole point of this is to make sure that you don't feel, I don't know anybody, because we all do know more people than we think. There might be some restrictions, there might be some difficulties, there might be some challenges with contacting them, but that's okay, we can work through that. So social media, your own contacts, and then S could be what we call switched, or we call them SAMs, switched on, ambitious, motivated people. So who out of everybody you know would you most like to have in your team as a partner? Who do you know who's really well connected? Who do you know who's really outgoing and fun? Who do you know who would really like to help a bunch of people? All right, so this is, again, you're just thinking, memory jogging all the time. And then on a daily basis, every time you come into contact with anybody or you're reminded of somebody, you need to be adding names to that list. And that list is like your gold mine. All right, that's your gold mine to start with. But if you don't have many on there, it doesn't matter, because when you start showing people, you're going to be getting referrals, and that's how you grow your list as well. All right, so every time you show the presentation, your aim isn't to sign that person up. Your aim is to get 2 or 3 names off them, so you've got 2 or 3 new people to show. And as long as you've got that in your mind, you're never disappointed about the outcome of the presentation. You're always saying, who else do you know that I can help? Because it's not about you, it's about them. And that's the other thing as well. When you're looking at that list and you're thinking, oh, I feel a bit awkward about contacting them, remind yourself who is doing who the favor. Okay, you are doing them the favor by showing them the business. If they join, they're joining for their own benefit. And yes, you will benefit too. That's the brilliant thing about this business, because it's a win-win. But they will be joining for their own benefit. You're not asking them to spend any money. Well, okay, if they join as a partner, you're asking them to spend a tenner, you know, but that's okay. Tenner is okay. You're not asking them to really part with any money. You're offering to save them money. You're offering to help them make some decent money. Does that make sense? So if you can get that mindset shift in your head, you're going to absolutely want to go and show everybody on your list. It's not going to worry you. Okay, so that's the list. That's an ongoing exercise. You've done some today, but keep going with that. All right. There's no way you could have written down all your contacts, your social media contacts and all that today. So that's an ongoing exercise. The next thing is just to touch on is your story. So what are you going to tell these people when they ask you why you're doing the business? So my story in the beginning was, so I'd said, hi, Sally, listen, you know, I'm a riding instructor. I still love that, or I'm still teaching riding and really enjoying it. However, since I've had Roxy, it's been much harder to put in as many hours, you know, as I used to. And to be honest, I don't really want to be riding dangerous horses anymore either. As a mum, I don't think it's very sensible. So I was looking for something else to do that was flexible, that would fit in around her. And I've come across a brilliant company. I'm really excited about it. And not only is it going to help me bridge the gap in my income and build up a really good residual income for the future, but I'm also helping loads of people. Sally, would it be all right if I show you just 10 minutes what it is I'm doing now? Okay, so if somebody said that to you, what would you say, do you think?
Yeah, you would.
You'd say, yeah. If I said to you, hey, Sally, I've just found a way of making loads of money by signing them up as customers, and I want to make loads of money, will you be a customer? Can I show you? That might not have had the same sort of impact. You'd have been a bit like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. So spend some time thinking about your story. Sally, I get the feeling you've got an amazing story.
I've got a good story.
You've got a great story. I feel you've got a great story. And while you may feel there's a bunch of people you can't contact, there will be some people that do know your story and that will want to support and help you when you tell it like that. All right. So when people say to us, what is it you're doing? Don't tell them what you're doing. Tell them why you're doing it. That's another really top tip. If someone says to you, what is it you're doing at the moment? Don't tell them what you're doing. Tell them why you're doing it. Because the why will intrigue them enough that they will want to see what it is. All right. The biggest mistake partners make when they join is by having verbal diarrhea, trying to give everything away about the company, the products, the services, what we do in a conversation that is enough to not only bore people rigid, but also turn you into a salesperson, make you sound weird, and then they don't want to know. We don't have to do any of that because the presentation does all of that for us. All right. Our role is just to get people to look at the presentation for 10 minutes. Once they do, the presentation will tell them what we do. All right. In a very clever way, it's designed to take away all the objections that are there and to lead into a nice way of doing a quote or signing them up as a partner. You do not need to explain that, particularly when you're new, because they're going to ask you questions you don't even know the answer to. And then you're going to end up tying yourself in knots. And that's why, Juliana, you're feeling nervous because you're like, oh, I don't know enough about this. What am I going to say? Remember, in the beginning, you're not even on your own in the presentation. So you're going to have your mentor with you when you show people. All right. So you book them in to show, you're going to have a mentor with you to show. So you don't have to worry about knowing anything. The skill you need right now today is just that way of getting in front of people, what to say to get in front of people. All right. So I'm going to give you some simple scripts, a few choices of scripts that to suit you. But when they start to ask more, you can simply say, either go back with your story and say why you're doing it, okay, and intrigue them enough for them to want to jump in and have a look. Or you're simply going to say, look, I'm still in my training. If I try and answer those questions, I'm going to make a real pig's ear of it. But when I show you, my mentor's going to be with me. She's amazing. She's been in the business, you know, and she will be able to answer all your questions. All right. So, you know, just don't be afraid about people asking stuff you don't know the answer to. You don't need to know. Even now, 13 years in, I could answer every single question anybody asked me about the company, the services, the products. I still don't want to do that. I want to get them onto the presentation. So I've got eyes on the business and I can talk them through it properly. All right. So, you know, just bear that in mind. So yes, Sally, your story. Give me your story then, Sally. So if I said to you, right, you've got a sentence or so, there's a bit of a structure to it. So it's, you know, I was, or you know, I am. However, so there's the, you know, I was, you know, I am. There's the challenge that arose or is arising from that position. The fact that you found a great partner, company to partner with, and that you're excited about the future for whatever reason. So Sally, can you have a go at that now?
Okay, you know, I've been in nursing for absolutely ever, and it's been really challenging just making the decision to leave, but I know that that's right for me. And I'm really excited that I'm starting this new path on this new journey. And it's a good opportunity to help people to save money and also give me all the free time that I need.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That's brilliant. And then just say at the end, so can I show you what it is I'm doing? All right, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So anybody that knows you, that knows you've been through that journey, you know, and knows how, I guess and I gather that things haven't ended well, you know, that you've had frustrations and everything else. The fact that they can see you excited about something now and being positive and looking forward to the future is massive, absolutely massive. And that's what you really want to focus on. All right. And it's not always going to be easy, but it will be worth it. I promise you it'll be worth it. Okay, so it's getting brave enough to have those conversations and actually to care less about what people think and what people say. Because at the end of the day, I learned this a long time ago, the ones that don't support you or the ones that are being negative and all that, and you will get that, sadly, you know, you're going to get some of that. They're not going to come and pay your bills. They're not going to take your kids on holiday, are they? You know, they're not going to come and put food on your table. So why do we give them so much power in our heads about what they think? You are all amazing on this call because you've made a choice to do something positive with your life, you know, and realize that you can change things and you can have an amazing future. So well done. And don't let anybody nick that off you. All right. We always say, don't let anybody that's given up on their dreams try and steal yours. And that's what you will find. You'll find a lot of people that are miserable, you know, nothing to look forward to, skint, moaning, and they want to keep you there because that makes them feel more comfortable. If they see somebody they know suddenly striving ahead and doing wonderful things and, you know, earning some money, having a nice life, it makes them feel uncomfortable because they know that they could do that too, but they either can't be bothered or they're too scared. All right, so you stick to your goals and stick to your guns and stick to listening to people like myself and Vanessa and, you know, Chris and all the great people that you've got around you to help, because then you will stay on the right path. Okay, so that's list story. So literally now the next bit really is just about starting to get some appointments in the diary. All right, that's what we need you to do. The quickest route to money is to start showing people. All right, so there's a few different approaches. I'm just going to give you sort of 3 simple scripts. All of this is on the portal, by the way. So where you've done your training, you know, your online training, there is masses and masses and masses of further future trainings on there. There is a getting started training you can book on a Zoom call. I would totally suggest you do that. That's run by head office. This is what I call a fast start, but every time I do this, it's slightly different. But it's about just trying to get you to feel motivated enough to get out there and make some appointments. But there's a more structured getting started skills, which goes through the presentation and things on the portal. So book in for that as soon as you can. Then there's a getting to future team leader training. There's a recruitment skills training. There's short half-hour trainings, loads of them, all right, on the portal. So go on as many as you can. Literally, if you can do a couple of trainings a week in your first few weeks, that's going to get you going a lot quicker. I did the getting started training, and this was a physical, we had to go to it for 3 hours when I joined. I did it every month for the first 12 months. And that's not because I'm stupid or particularly slow. It's because every time I went, I picked up something new, sometimes from the trainers, sometimes from the people in the room. Our Monday morning meetings, by the way, 10 o'clock Monday morning, please try and come along to those if you can. We have top tips, we have a topical subject, a bit of training. They're really, really good. So that's 10 o'clock every Monday. All of that sort of stuff is going to help keep you in the business for longer. All right, so 3 simple scripts. Number 1. Hi, Vanessa, how are you? Good, thanks. Doesn't matter. You're muted. It doesn't matter. So hi, Vanessa. How are you? Listen, Vanessa, I've just started something new. I'm really, really excited about it, actually. And I think you'll love it too. How soon can I grab you for 10 minutes so I can show you what I'm doing? All right. So how simple was that? Okay. Hi, Sally. Listen, Sally, I'm really excited about something. I've just started something new. I think it's going to be brilliant. And I honestly think you'll love it too. So how soon can I show you what I'm doing? Now, you're probably going to say, what is it then? Okay. And then I would say, well, you know, I'm a riding instructor at the moment, blah, blah, blah. So then you tell your story. All right. So it's quick script story. And in your story, you do mention it's about helping people save money, which is absolutely fine. All right. So you're giving them some idea. Quick script story. So that's a really simple one. And that's for your sort of close friends and family. That's for people you know really well, that you can just say, look, I just got to show you. If I tell you now, I've got to kill you. I need to show you. And then I need my mentor there as well, because she's going to help me because it's a part of the training. Number 2 is you could simply say, so hi, Sally, listen, I've just started something new from home and I'm still in the training phase. I need to show this short presentation to 10 people next week to get my training ticked off. Would you do me a massive favor? It'd take about 10, 15 minutes. Could I book you in for time? When's good for you? And then you can say, I can do either, what day is it today? When I can do either Thursday morning or Friday afternoon, which is best for you. All right, give them 2 times to pick from when you're booking an appointment, because psychologically they will pick one then. And then again, if they say, what is it? You can tell your story again. All right, go back to the story, go back to the intrigue. That's number 2. Number 3 is much more direct. And again, this we didn't used to talk about doing this, but I think right now, today, with the current market like it is, then there's nothing wrong with being much more direct. And you could simply say, Sally, I know this is a bizarre question to ask, but are you on a fixed or variable tariff for your energy at home at the moment? All right, and they'll say whatever they say. So if they say, I don't know, say, okay, that's fine. If you send me a copy of a bill, I can have a look because there's something I can help you with. All right, if they say fixed, brilliant, when does it end? Find out when it ends. If they say variable, then you say, look, I've just started doing something. I've just found a way we can fix our energy prices in and reduce our bills in loads of other ways. How soon can I show you? All right, how soon can I show you is a really good expression. Don't ever ask someone, when are they free? If someone says to me, when are you free? I'm like, oh God, I'm never free. You know, I'm busy. But if someone said to me, how soon can I show you a life-changing business opportunity? I would say 11 o'clock. All right. So it's about your language, your posture, your confidence and everything else. Right. I've been talking a lot for 40 odd minutes. I can't believe it's gone so quickly. And I've got an appointment at 11 o'clock. So I'm going to have to wrap this up now. So can I just say, firstly, has that made some sense to you all?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Everybody that you talk to, do you offer them to become a partner as well?
Yes, good, great question, Sally. So the presentation shows both sides of the business. All right, so the presentation will show the customer and the money. You may go in. So if you've got someone you particularly want in your team, or you think would be great at the business, or then you can lead with the business opportunity for sure. So you can say, instead of saying I've just found a way of reducing my bills, you could say, hey, Sally, look, I know that you're a similar boat to me and we were both looking for some extra income recently. I've just found a really great way of earning some money. Can I show you how it works? All right, so you can lead with the business opportunity if you want to. However, it doesn't matter how you get their eyes on the presentation, because whoever's mentoring you will talk about both sides of the business if it's relevant. But don't ever worry about anyone that you get in front of us. It's not pushy, it's not salesy, it's a relaxed conversation. All right, so it is literally a conversation. I would just say let's say, Sally, you organised us to speak to Sarah. I would say, hi, Sarah, listen, thanks so much for your time today and giving up to help Sally get started in her business. My name's Celia. And then I tell my story. I've been in the business 13 years, this is what it's done for me. So would it be okay if we just run through a really short presentation, show you how everything works? If it's not for you, Sarah, it really doesn't matter at all. But what we're hoping is you will know some other people we can help. Is that all right? All right. So that's how I would speak to the prospect. It's not about pushing them against the wall at all. It's literally about just showing them something and then them having another option in their lives. All right. Does that help?
Mm-hmm.
Have you got a few people to get started with, Sally?
One.
That's okay. One's good. No, one's good. One's a good start. So get that one person booked in as soon as possible. Let Ray know when it is. That's the other thing I was going to say, guys. So this is how I say to my team. I know Sarah and Juliana, you may have been told differently, but with my team, if you book the appointment and then let your mentor know as soon as you've booked it when it is, all right, because if they can't help you, they will find someone else in the team that can. All right, so just get them in the diary as soon as possible. The quicker you start getting them in the diary. Sally, what about your own services? Can you become a customer yourself?
I don't know. I owe money now. I'm going to discuss it later.
Okay, remember there's lots of services. So even if you can become a customer with any of the services, that still means you're a customer and you can be your own customer. So that helps towards getting qualified and things. So it's definitely worth doing. All right. Okay, fabulous. I'm going to have to wrap that up now because I've got to grab a drink and catch my breath before my 11 o'clock meeting. So I hope that's been useful. Please stay in touch. All right. Any questions, obviously ask your sponsor or ask me. And Sally, you know, keep building that list, keep racking your brains, keep thinking about who you can go back to, even people you haven't spoken to for a long time, because I promise you they'll be pleased to hear from you. All right, when they know what it is you can do for them, that's the thing. And if you haven't spoken to them for a long time, it's quite a nice way of reconnecting with people as well. So it all works well. Fabulous. Okay, have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for giving up your time. And I look forward to seeing you all fly in your businesses. All right.
Thank you, Celia.
That's all right. No worries. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.